Today at 65, you're still young, you're mobile, you're fit, you're healthy. But it's not about giving away ambition. It's just about pursuing things for different purposes. It's not about money, it's not about titles, it's not about applause. It's about finding satisfaction. Hi, this is Sanjay Mehta, and welcome to one more episode of What If You Live to Be 100. So, in the previous episode, I talked about the infinite possibilities that you have at this age being in your 50s, early 60s, that it's a second innings. For all of our life, we were told or we were given this notion that retirement is a finish line. It's like you work all your life, provide for your family, build your corpus, make sure your children are settled, all that, and then you rest, which is retirement. You travel, you maybe do the crossword, you find some new hobbies. The reality is that today, when you actually retire, when you actually get to that point, you realize that there's so much more energy left to you. You're alive, you're curious, you want to do things. And the thought of that notion of retirement that was fed to you doesn't connect with this life that you currently in, the stage that you're currently in. And it's not just about getting bored. It's about missing this anchor, that anchor which was there for all your working life. For 30, 40 years when you worked, even if there was stress, even if there was pressure, it was around which your life evolved. Meetings, goals, KPIs, EMIs, all of those things were what, what built your life. They were the dots that connected the various aspects of life. And suddenly that's not there. And without that, you're seeming lost. Now, this whole idea of freedom, we might need to rethink. Retirement meant freedom, but that freedom can also be disorienting, because freedom without direction might leave you a little lost. And this is where we have been sold a half-truth. And that's not because you failed. It's because you're still alive, still curious, still having a lot to give. Let's understand one other fact, that we are all living longer. This whole length of life idea, the longevity thing, we need to reframe it in the context of today. In our parents' generation, maybe they retired at 58 and life slowed down after 65. Today at 65, you're still young, you're mobile, you're fit, you're healthy. There's so much that you still want to do and can do. So let's flip this idea a little bit. Instead of thinking of this as, the last act, it is a second innings. Let's not think of this time as a borrowed time, but rather a gift of time. So imagine someone walked to you at your age of 60 and whispered to you and said, "Here's 30 more years, healthy ones. You can walk, talk, love, travel, build, do what you want to do." Wouldn't that be exciting? And what would you do with them? So if you start thinking about bucket lists, that's not exactly what we're talking about. We're not talking about just jumping off the plane or going and seeing 40 countries or something. Sure, you can do that if you want. But what we're talking about is something bigger than that. Something around finding purpose. Purpose. Yeah, that word is got depth, right? I mean, you think that, oh my God, are we talking about climbing some mountain or, even figuring some TEDx talk around it or something? No, I'm not intending to go into that heavy direction. Purpose is just about finding something to engage in, something that you can derive a lot of satisfaction from. It could be, walking with somebody. It could be mentoring someone. It could be about, hey, learning better ways to make sourdough bread. It could be anything that engages you. It's that reason why you wake up in the morning with a spring in your step. It's that different from just filling up your time to actually doing something which you enjoy, which you care about, which you look forward to day after day. So finding that purpose into that area of longevity is the key. Let me actually make a small confession here. Even as I thought about retirement, and I thought that, okay, these will be now the years where I don't need to think about ambition. Having been an entrepreneur all my life, having built businesses, etc., I thought maybe it's a time when I can take a break from all that challenge. But I realize now that it's not about giving away ambition. It's just about pursuing things for different purposes. It's not about money, it's not about titles, it's not about applause. It's about direction, it's about finding satisfaction. But still, there is an ambition. It's like, some of you might be aware that a few years back, I took upon this interesting hobby about walking the city of Mumbai. So what I do is I find new places to visit in Mumbai and explore them on foot. And what started out as a casual thing, today, I have close to 100 walks which have happened, and I've explored amazing corners of the city. So it's become a ritual of sorts. There is something that I look forward to every week, to discover new places, to see people, to sort of explore stories that come out of that. And what I also have ended up doing, or rather what I did from the very beginning of these walks, was to convert them into a little post or article, took some pictures and shared these. And these have become conversation pieces for me with so many of my friends. So it's become this new lens through which I've started seeing life. And that's the point. That's the aspect of finding purpose, finding these new lenses to look at life from. That's what I talk about when I say purpose. So if you are in your 50s or 60s, or even in your late 40s, and if you have this question that is burning inside you in terms of what now, well, recognize this, that the answer is not out there in some big grand plan. The answer is right here, in this moment, in this time, the time that you have to figure the journey, the purpose, something to enjoy, something to do, realizing that there is still time to build, to do, to love, to speak, to write. Figuring whatever that connects to you is that what now. Let me know if you find your answers, and what are those. Love to know. It is a conversation. Whatever I'm sharing is my perspective, but I'm equally in this to find more answers and more conversations. So if you have felt differently, or if you have found your answers in a different way, please do share. Let's create this conversation. I look forward to hearing from you, and look forward to seeing you again in the next episode.